Good morning. Welcome to our worship service here at First Unitarian Church of Worcester, Massachusetts. I'm Jay Lavelle. I'm assisting in worship this morning with our Director of Faith Development, Samantha Nemeth, our Assistant Director of Faith Development, Abigail Hanford Riccardi, Broadcast Technician, Ivilo Buxton, and Head Usher Ken Mandiel. We also welcome our young artists in residence, William Ryan, the Reverend Sarah Stewart. Our minister is on sabbatical leave, so we're delighted to welcome our sabbatical minister, the Reverend Lisa Perry Wood. Here at First Unitarian Church, we strive in loving fellowship to honor the sacred, connect with each other, and serve justice. We are a welcoming congregation. Whatever your age, race, class, nationality, sexual orientation, or gender identity, we are delightful to have you with us this morning. If you're online, you can like this video to help others find us. Please subscribe to our channel to find more of our content. And please leave a comment, too, because that helps with the algorithms. Our newsletter is the best way to stay in touch or join our other programs. If you'd like to receive our e-newsletter, please go to firstunitarian.com and click subscribe to our newsletter at the bottom of any page. If you're here at the sanctuary, you can visit the welcome table and sign up to receive the newsletter. If this is your first time visiting, you can sign up for a name tag. If you're one of our friendly volunteers, we'll also offer you a welcome bag full of goodies. Following the worship service today, we will have fellowship in the church parlor. All are welcome. Please wear your name tag during the fellowship hour. You'll find announcements in the order of service. I have two announcements. This one, the spring online auction starts tomorrow. Please spread the word to those outside our congregation who may be interested in bidding on some of our wonderful items. Please pick up a flyer or business cards with the link to the auction on them to share with those outside the church. You'll find those in the church parlor during social hour. Second, the church is in the midst of planning and building a handicap ramp on the straight side street of the church going into Unity Hall. This afternoon, there will start a project where we'll be pulling up bricks in order to make space for everything. So this is a low-skill job. It's something even a Unitarian could do, pick up bricks. Put them in a basket or a barrel or whatever. So that will be this afternoon. And it is a good day to be out picking up bricks. 1 o'clock. Okay, yes, I got the time. 1 o'clock. Don't want to miss that. This is the day the Lord has made.
Good morning. Our monthly theme is resistance. And today we'll talk about how rest is a form of resistance. In the words of poet and activist Trisha Hersey, who calls herself the nap bishop, rest is our natural right, yet a lot of humans are not resting. This week we'll explore how a commitment to resting as self-care can be a form of resistance in our demanding and energy-intense lives. This is The Peace of Wild Things by Wendell Berry. When despair for the world grows in me, and I wake in the night at the least sound, in fear of what my life and my children's lives may be, I go and lie down where the wood drake rests in his beauty in the water, and the great heron feeds. I come into the peace of wild things, who do not tax their lives with forethought of grief. I come into the presence of still water, and I feel above me the day-blind stars waiting with their light. For a time I rest in the grace of the world and am free. Come, dear friends, into this sacred and beloved space we co-create each week, and let us worship together.
Good morning. This morning, Alexander and his mom Shannon are going to light our chalice for us.
In the spirit of love,
Please rise and body or spirit to renew our covenant as printed in the order of service or on your screen. In the love of truth and in the spirit of Jesus, we unite in the worship of God and the service of all.
Good morning.
We have a few faith development updates that I want to share before we do our tale of the day. At first, I wanted to give a huge shout out to Sue and Bob Shaw, who helped volunteer and maintain the space for the Lorcana tournament that we have. It was a fundraiser and an outreach opportunity. We had 42 new people, soon-to-be members, hopefully, to come to the church and have a great time. They were here way past expectation of time, so I really appreciate it. So thank you, Sue and Bob. On the accessibility project that we just heard about from Jay, our Wire U2, our high school youth group, is also going to be helping tomorrow morning at 8:30, I think we agreed on, which was early for me. We said 9 for the kids, adults, 9 too, maybe? Which they'll be helping out tomorrow with donuts for breakfast. On the 21st, we have our parent info session for Our Whole Lives workshop, which is our human sexuality program for grades 4 through 6. So if you're a parent or guardian who wants to have your child in this program, we're gonna be meeting in the chapel from 12 to 1 to learn all about the program. It is mandatory, and those 2 workshops will be on April 27th and May 4th from 10 to 1 p.m. It's an amazing program. If you haven't signed your child up, come find me as soon as possible, and we'll make you aware of everything you need to know to participate. But also, there's more. If you are an adult or youth or a child, good news for you. On April 27th, we're also having our Neighboring Faiths, which is our middle school class where we explore world religions. We're attending Beltane celebration, which is a pagan holiday celebrating the middle between spring and summer. And that is we're leaving here at 10:30 on that Saturday. It's open to anybody who wants to come explore, so please see me if you want to join that. And lastly, we have It's Okay, Slow Lizard. In the forest where the sunlight gently falls through the leaves lives busy bird, mighty elephant, speedy rabbit, funny monkey, and me, slow lizard. Just like my name, I live a slow, slow life. And because I live a slow life, I see many things, I hear many things, and I have lots of time to help my friends. Today, I need to finish everything for tomorrow and for the next day, but when will I have time to do everything for the day after that? When little bird, who does everything early, is anxious. Hey, little bird, want to have some flower tea with me? As we sip our flower tea, little bird's stress slowly melts away. When mighty elephant gets frustrated and angry, why does it keep breaking? Hey, elephant, want to look at the sky through the hole in this leaf? As we look through the hole in the leaf at the clouds drifting by, elephant's anger slowly melts away. When Speedy Rabbit rushes ahead and, oops, loses the race by mistake, I sit quietly next to Rabbit. With a friend nearby, Rabbit slowly feels better. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay not to win. When Funny Monkey giggles and plays pranks on us, hey monkey, want to read this book together? It's really good. Let's read this one too. As we read together, Monkey's mischievous mood slowly melts away. Do you think my friends are glad I'm around? I'm glad I have my friends too. It's going to rain tonight with thunder and lightning. Let's pick apples now. Little bird is always prepared. The apples are heavy, aren't they? I can give you a ride home. Elephant is so generous. The sun is about to set. Follow me. I know a shortcut. We'll get home faster. Rabbit is really clever. Are you afraid of the dark? I can make you laugh. Thank goodness for Funny Monkey. Here we are, safe and sound. Raindrops start falling slowly among the leaves. Even if it's stormy for a while, it's okay. The rain will always stop, and the sky will always clear up. Hey friends, want to come over and eat apples? Take your umbrella and take your time. Thank you. Before I invite all my friends to go to our faith development classes, quick reminder, today we have Dungeons and Dragons from 2 to 5 p.m. And yesterday we had an amazing We Agora Spring Fools, so thank you to everyone who helped make it amazing. It was a great time to celebrate spring. So thank you very much. And next week is a faith development service, so all the kids get ready to bring your best talent out. Thank you.
Please join me now in the spirit of prayer. Beloved friends, in face of the turmoil and chaos in the world right now, my prayer for all of us this morning is that we find ways to deeply rest. May we recognize that we deserve to rest deeply. We don't have to earn our rest, it is our birthright. May we invite ourselves to slow down, to find more ways to nurture ourselves to be compassionate and kind to our dear bodies and precious minds. I pray today that we are able to let go the worries and fears of the larger world for a few minutes, an hour, an evening, that we may turn our attention away from the news and from worldly concerns in our lives that push us forward or hold us back. May we have rest, deep rest, the rest we need to move gently forward again, taking time to treasure the faces we love, to gaze with love at images in photos or on screens, remembering those who love us now and throughout our lives and resting in their love. And finally, for all those whose lives are filled with struggle, with basic challenges of daily existence and subsistence, with fear for their safety, threats of violence, may they too have moments, hours, of deep and well-deserved rest. Now I'm going to lead you in a guided meditation on deep rest, followed by a few moments of silence. Let's begin. Sitting relaxed, drop your gaze or close your eyes and take a deep breath. And exhale out. Breathing in and breathing out, sitting quietly, free floating. Invite your body to relax. When we simply sit and breathe, we activate the body's calming response. We invite the calm, smooth, harmonious waves called alpha brain waves, like the waves of the ocean, coming into the shore and rolling back out. Coming in and going out. Breathing in, breathing out. Relax. Drop your shoulders. Relax the jaw. Unfurl your brow. Allow your mind to float freely until it settles down. Let thoughts come and go as they please. Now bring your attention back gently to your breath. Don't exert yourself trying to block thoughts. Just remain passive. Remind your body that we're sitting now. We're breathing now. We're relaxing now. Sit quietly. Stay with your breath. Like the waves of the ocean, breathing in, breathing out. Let thoughts fade into the background. Relax. To be still, to be quiet, to be at ease. This is the gift of relaxation. Let's sit for a few moments in silence. Amen. We have prayers this morning from Liz Gustafson asking us to pray for her brother-in-law, Terry, who's been diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer. And Jay Lavelle offers thanks for all the help he's received in the years since his stroke. May these prayers be received and answered, and all those joys and concerns that are held in our hearts, may they find peace. And now please join in saying the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen.
Our ministries at First Unitarian Church continue to thrive because of your support. Your offering makes a difference here in our community. This past week, some women of the church delivered feminine products to over 100 Haitian women living in the hotel shelter near the church. The sisterhood traveled to Wisdom House in Litchfield, Connecticut for their annual weekend retreat. And John Henry's Hammer had their bi-monthly open mic on Friday evening, which is a long-standing community outreach program for the music community in Worcester. If you are worshiping online, you can text the number on your screen or go to firstunitarian.com and click Give Online at the top of any page. The ushers will now receive this morning's offering. I invite your generous contribution for the good work of this church.
Our scripture reading this morning is from the book of Matthew, chapter 11, verses 28 to 30. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light.
Our second reading today is from the poem The Weight of Nothing by Amy Yue Batsu. The student's assignment: concentrate on nothing for 15 minutes a day. She tries to empty her head, but can't figure out how. After all, she doesn't know what nothing sounds or looks like, and the teacher won't give her the slightest clue. Yet she's got a good hunch the exercise might quiet all the shriek and clatter trapped between her ears. So like a good pupil, she devotes her entire year searching for nothing. Some days she's as still as a stone, but can't escape the distractions of river and wind, footsteps approaching, birds calling in the trees overhead. Or closing her eyes, she'll focus on a cloudless blue sky. Pillows and plaids of purple sunsets keep interrupting. She silently repeats words like ocean or why. She adds sounds that dwell low in her throat, like and At year's end, her teacher asks if she's found nothing. She tells him she's found everything but nothing. He smiles. You're closer than you think. Now try for 20 minutes.
I encountered Trisha Hersey's book, Rest is Resistance, when I needed it most. Well, honestly, it was way past when I needed it. Way past when my mind and my body were crying out for a break that I didn't feel entitled to take, a break that felt self-indulgent, because there was always so much to do, too much to accomplish, and it often felt like I was the only one who could make those things happen. And if I didn't, what would that say about me? There are so many harsh words we use to label people who don't describe to what Trisha Hersey calls the grind culture. And they're not kind words. Lazy, incompetent, a slacker. Trisha Hersey tells us our worth does not reside in how much we produce, especially not for a system that exploits and dehumanizes us. Rest, in its simplest form, becomes an act of resistance and a reclaiming of power because it asserts our most basic humanity. We are enough. The systems cannot have us. The oppressive systems she's talking about, capitalism, white supremacy, and all forms of perfectionism, are not set up to support rest or even health, as it turns out. This is what Hersey means by grind culture, the systems that are designed to produce, to enforce daily stress and turmoil, to see rest as indolence and overworking as a value. We only rest to recharge and dive back into the capitalist system. Have you heard the expression, you can rest when you die? That's not supportive of real rest. And I can tell you that sitting at hospice bedsides as I do these days, no one on their deathbed is saying, I wish I'd worked more, wish I'd spent more time at the office, gotten more accomplished. No. These days, I babysit for my 18-month-old granddaughter most Mondays, and Olivia is a great role model for creative play and for rest. She's learning sign language, and she made up her own sign for when she's ready to rest. She knows when she's done. When she's done playing, when her body needs to lie down and take a break. And there's no shame. Her body knows it, and she simply signals that it's time. Contrast that with a minister friend who closed her office door one day and laid down on the couch for a short nap. She found she could barely close her eyes because she was so worried that someone would catch her resting. And of course, she'd be judged for that. Years ago, though, I had a wonderful work situation as a preschool director, where part of my job was to lie down every afternoon with the preschoolers and help them to rest in semi-darkness, to give their teachers a break, and it gave me a break too. Resting was part of my job. What if it was part of all of our jobs? There's a reason that so many of us love to see photos of children and animals sleeping. It looks so blissful, doesn't it? Once they're in that sleep, they're just gone. How many of us have watched our children sleep or our pets napping and longed for that kind of abandon where you don't even need to think about sleep? Our music and meditation and poetry this morning are all about resting and reaching for peace in our lives, about stillness, comfort, walking slowly, simply being. And we resonate with these ideas so deeply, yet we find them hard to grasp, hard to hold on to. I wonder if any of you have ever had insomnia, tossing and turning, rearranging the covers and the pillows, trying one surefire remedy after another, warm milk and honey, melatonin, various herbs, maybe even resorting to pharmaceutical sleep aids. The sleep industry in this country is booming. And insomnia, the lack of ability to sleep, to rest deeply, can make us feel unbalanced and irritable at best, and lead to serious health problems at the worst. Yoga teachers and others tell us that our whole country is deeply underslept. As a nation, we average far fewer hours of sleep than most other developed countries. It's the cause of many health problems, and it's not sustainable. We need to figure this out. There's also shame associated with resting. I remember in school, I spent a lot of time just looking out of the window. My early elementary school report card said that I daydreamed too much. I wasn't focused enough on my work, and I needed to pay better attention. But I think I was just trying to rest, to recover from the oppressive system of school, where we're trained to sit quietly at our desks, eyes straight ahead, or on our papers, an attitude and posture that's totally counterintuitive for any young person. If we don't conform, we're shamed for it, and that pattern continues throughout our lives. I continued to think that daydreaming was a bad thing. Daydreaming is actually important in our lives. Trisha Hersey, again, tells us daydreaming is part of our unraveling process. Rest and dreaming can be tools of opposition against white supremacy and the oppression of capitalism because they go against the tenets of these dominant cultures. Rest and dreaming, she says, give us liberation. And she offers techniques to create rest for ourselves. She says, cultivate deep community that resists posting online. Invent a space of joy, space, and rest for yourself. Decide that you will never be enslaved to the systems that prevent rest. Rest by slowing down. Rest as if your life depends upon it. That last one, right? Rest as if your life depends upon it, because it does. Somewhere along the way, facing the various stresses of adulthood, my own ability to let myself go into rest the way a child lets go was lost. Somewhere along the way, the voice in my head, my internal critic, got involved in everything I did, including rest. You know that voice, the one that judges us harshly and directs the stories in our head, the one that calls us names we would never call anyone else, that voice. And when that voice became involved in my attempts to rest, resting became more like work than all the other work in my day. Something to measure, something to ration. Rest became something to do when I had no other choice. I rested when and if the work was all finished. And there is a secret that I learned in my 60s. Work is never finished. There is always more. When the internal voice took over, the part about rest I completely forgot was kindness. Deeply resting is an act of self-kindness. It's a gentle, loving, compassionate practice. And it's intentional. If we don't intend to be kind to ourselves, we won't be. We live in a world that isn't kind a lot of the time, a world that pushes us to greater and greater stress and judgment. With less and less focus on genuine kindness and compassion for ourselves and for others, we turn any part of our lives into a way to be self-critical, to give ourselves a hard time. Resting is a prime example. When I've had an injury, a fall, a twisted ankle, or most recently a bruised rib, I know full well that my body is giving me a message to slow down, and rest is the cure that I need. Yet when I stop to rest, I find myself spinning stories, worrying about something that might or might not happen, filling my heart and mind with judgments about people, places, things. That's not kind, and it is not healing. So I started asking, why am I not deeply resting? Even when I have to heal, what is in the way? What stops me? What keeps me from just letting go? And I saw that on some deep level, I didn't feel safe. So I asked myself, well, what feels unsafe? The answer I discovered is that I was scared to let go, to just be kind to myself. And then I got really curious. What would it look like if I actually tried to be kind to myself? What would happen if I set an intention for resting, a deliberate attempt to increase my self-compassion while I was lying down? Would that make a difference? I began to see that I could take an extra minute or two to ask myself while I was beginning to rest if I was warm enough, if the pillow was in a comfortable position. If not, I could arrange the covers in the pillow just so. When a fear or judgment or criticism arose in my heart and mind, rather than follow that story, I could simply notice my anxious thoughts and meet them with kindness. I could give them a gentle mental and emotional touch of self-compassion and not get caught up in them. If I hurt, and I did after I injured my rib, I could meet that pain and acknowledge it, gently holding the places that hurt, resting them so the pain was eased. I could allow myself the permission to be with whatever I found, without judgment, one tiny step at a time. I could practice rest as a gift to myself rather than a requirement. My resting slowly started to change. I stopped trying to make things be the way I thought they should be. I started opening my heart to myself and meeting what's present just as it is, with kindness. In this space of kindness, I can really let go and begin to rest. I've learned a lot in my exploration of rest in recent years. Deep breathing, one of those heated bean bags that you put in the microwave, sleep music, slow walks in nature, those are all deeply supportive of rest for me. And I've learned restorative yoga practices with props and pillows and blankets that support reclining poses. And a practice I learned in recent years, the yoga of deep rest, it's called Yoga Nidra. There's a movement in my current field called slow ministry, with colleagues who are supporting each other to find ways to incorporate rest into their work. In order to sustain any work that is very demanding of our time and energy, emotional, mental, physical, we need to figure out how to create space to rest and to encourage daydreaming. I have here the Nap Ministries Rest Deck, a set of 50 cards with different rest practices. And I've left some on the altar table below here, and I invite you to borrow one. Please bring it back if you think of it. Or you can also take a picture of one or two with your phone. Here's a sample. I will do less. Watch me thrive. How can you access pleasure, joy, and liberation if you are too tired to experience them? Where can you create more space in your life? What can you say no to? Consider what rest has to offer you. It's time to slow down. It's time to thrive. I'd love to hear if you try out any of these practices and how that went for you. If anything changed in your attitude toward rest, you found a practice that might become a regular part of your day or week. Because we will need to encourage each other. We'll need a community of people who are less committed to grinding on and getting things done in spite of exhaustion and stress, and more committed to their own and others' liberation from grind culture. Because we can't do this alone. Because the messages we receive constantly from the systems around us don't support rest. They never have. Rest is a revolutionary act. Resistance through rest and daydreaming is also a spiritual practice. To resist, we need to create a structure of ease and invention in our lives. We must continue to resist domination through rest in the entirety of our lives, says Trisha Hersey. And when rest is recognized as the norm, this new state of the world will connect us to our divinity. I think of images of Greek gods at rest, looking down from the Elysian fields, or the Buddha at rest with his hands in a lotus position. Or Michelangelo's God on the Sistine Chapel ceiling, reclining as he reaches out to give life to Adam. When God created the world, he did it with a series of commands, but it never seemed like he was sweating or stressing over this work. And on the seventh day, he rested. Jesus says, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls." He does not say, work harder, produce more. He says, observe the lilies of the field. They toil not, neither do they spin. Be more like the lilies. Rest. Have faith. Trust me, he says. Dear friends, may we take these words to heart. Find more peace and rest in our lives, not succumbing to the grind culture, but embracing the divinity to be found in ease and invention. Asking each other, how is your spirit? Are you getting enough rest? Rather than, how are you doing? What are you up to? Let rest more, rest deeply be our new mantra. May it be so. Blessed be. Amen. And now please rise as you are willing or able and join in singing hymn number 352 in the gray hymnal, Find a Stillness. Foster. Here again. If you're exhausted, rest. If you don't feel like starting a new project, don't. going to start over again. If you're exhausted, rest. If you don't feel like starting a new project, don't. If you don't feel the urge to make something new, just rest in the beauty of the old, the familiar, the known. If you don't feel like talking, stay silent. If you're fed up with the news, turn it off. If you want to postpone something until tomorrow, do it. If you want to do nothing, let yourself do nothing today. Feel the fullness of the emptiness, the vastness of the silence, the sheer life in your unproductive moments. Time does not always need to be filled. You are enough, simply in your being. Dear friends, take all that we have shared here this morning out into the world. Be a blessing to all those you meet, and may you yourselves be blessed. Amen. And please be seated for the postlude.